Welcome to the Man Listen podcast. Before we dive into these conversations and stories on this podcast, we want to remind our listeners that the views and opinions expressed by individuals on the show are personal and may not represent the broader population or even the people featured on the show. This podcast is meant to be casual and enjoyable experiences, a space to relax, share stories, and even have a good time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Keeping in mind that what's said here is all in good fun, not to be taken too serious. Again, thanks for tuning in to Man Listen.
Hey man, glad to have the guest here today. And before I introduce him, I do want to personally thank him. Personally tell him on camera like how proud I am. I've always been proud of him. He always been smarter than me. Always been. I think like the only thing I could do better was like play basketball. But he was always smarter. He was always the one with the ideas.
You agree to that?
He was always.
Nah, man. Man. I can't say all that. Man. I can't
about the
say
basketball
all that.
part.
He could hoop better than me.
Okay.
I ain't gonna sit here and cap. I give him a run for his money though.
Okay,
You know what I mean? I
go.
definitely give him a run for his money.
He threw that in there.
Yeah, he did. He got it.
But
though.
man, but this been somebody that done roll with me since day one, you know what I mean? And still rocking. Now that he's home, you know, but man, without further ado, man, Torrey Branch, man. Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, bro, like I
appreciate you
said,
having me,
I'm
man.
happy, I'm proud. I feel like it's crazy because like I got so much that's like in my mind is like, damn, all the stories from when we was kids, all the stories when we were young adults, high school was crazy. You know what I mean? Like I got so much that I want to just throw out there. But first I want to start just by you, like just introducing yourself, right? Because I think people know who you were.
Right.
I don't know if they know the man that you are today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just introduce yourself. Kind of like, you know, of course we know you were homegrown. You from here. But just again, introduce yourself, man. Who are you? Like now, you know, now that you home.
I mean, now, you know, coming home from the penitentiary, I really found that self-identity. You know what I'm saying? Like when I got locked up, I really didn't know who I was. I know who I thought I was, and I know who I was trying to be for other people. But, you know, going through that journey and that, you know, almost 9 years in prison, you know, I finally got a chance to be one-on-one with myself. You know, really ask myself, like, what do I stand for? What do I stand on? What principles? You know, when it ain't nobody looking. You know what I'm saying? That I did come up around. Like, I'm in prison with, you know, 80 to 90 people that don't know me from a can of paint. So, you know, I had to go in there and find my identity. You know what I'm saying? Quick, because if you don't find your identity once you go into prison, then you're just freelancing. That's how a lot of people get into the penitentiary system, and they get to joining gangs or joining different things. And the reason they do that and they weren't doing it on the street is because they didn't have an identity going in. You know what I'm saying? So now the man I am today, it's just I really know who I am. Like I know what I stand for. You know, I know where I'm headed now. I know what direction. I got purpose now. So, you know, that's just me now, man. I really didn't change a lot, like personality-wise. Like when I came home, you know, a lot of old friends that I went to high school with, they was like, man, you the same dude from back in high school, you know, personality-wise. But they also said, like, I can see the change in you too. You know what I'm saying? Just by how you move, how you speak when you do speak and what you're speaking about. So, man.
I can definitely see, like, the maturity level.
Grown man.
Because grown man. And it's crazy because, like, I've always looked at y'all as, like, you know, little cousins. You know what I mean? But, like, little cousins. Like, so now just, damn, we really men out here trying to handle, like, the shit is kind of surreal in a sense. You know what I mean? And just so that people know, because there's probably a lot of people who don't know your story. You went to prison 9 years, right? Just can you quickly just tell us like what that like kind of what led to that situation, kind of why you went to prison? Listen, we got the doc coming. So we ain't gonna spoil a whole lot. Y'all got to tune in.
Yeah,
y'all got to tune in for the summer.
Okay.
Y'all got to look in the description below. Make sure Better believe it.
Oh, y'all getting crazy.
Hey, man.
That's all right.
Make
Yeah,
sure,
word.
make
It's
sure
coming, it's coming.
y'all follow, y'all like, y'all subscribe to all of his pages because he's currently telling it, little bits and pieces. But that doc is coming this summer. But give the people who don't really know you kind of like that experience, why you went to prison, and all of those things briefly, because again,
Right.
they're gonna have to come back for the rest of it.
For more. So yeah, just a quick little rundown. After high school, I went to college. Flunked out of college first year. Came back home.
It's crazy because he's too smart for that.
Yeah, I didn't flunk because of grades. I definitely flunked for attendance. I just won't go into class. But anyways, come home, man. I start working little 9-to-5s, and on the outside of work, I was living a lifestyle that involved being in the streets, selling drugs, substance use. You know what I'm saying? And whole time I was just coping. You know what I'm saying? With trauma that I didn't realize I was coping with. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, all that led up to a night I went out with my homeboys and dropped them off at the crib. And on the way home, I was on the way to the crib and I got a call from a friend and they wanted me to come see them. So, I thought I could make it. I didn't feel too intoxicated. I wasn't swerving, but I got about 30, 45 minutes down the road. I fell asleep behind the wheel, blacked out, and I was involved in a DUI accident. In that accident, unfortunately, it caused somebody to lose their life, the person that I hit. So, fast forward a few months after that, I was indicted for the charge. And when I got sentenced, they sentenced me to 12 and a half years in the Department of Corrections. So, yeah, that's kind of what led me, led me to the penitentiary.
Yeah. And that's a very impactful moment, and I know we're not gonna break that all down.
Right.
But because just recently, and it was just recently, y'all, we were sitting down and Torrey told me kind of the whole story, and like just to hear about the day, the night, the after, the waking up, the realization that like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like,
It's really
I know
happening.
that had to be crazy. That had to be crazy. Like,
life just fucking got
Real. Facts.
Yeah.
and it was, and your birthday was coming up because it was like a couple months in your birthday.
Yeah.
It was like a lot. But when he told me the story of just like how quick life hits you,
Right.
you know what I mean? What was that? Whew. If you could put that feeling into a word, just that like I can't imagine, like your chest tight, your body just feels heavy. Like what? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the weeks after, like knowing that, wow, some shit is about to happen to me. I'm not knowing you because you told me like they didn't talk to you.
Yeah.
You didn't really get no. You know what I mean?
Right,
but you
right,
knowing that
It's coming. Now.
something is coming.
Yeah, facts.
This ain't just finna go
Because you already
facts.
kind of done. Yeah. So like, what was that feeling like? If there were words to describe it.
I'm right. It's really hard to put it into words. Like, it was just like that feeling of, like you said, every day, chest heavy, like just a weight on me because I know it's coming. You know what I'm saying? And not only the weight of knowing like, oh man, I'm about to go to the penitentiary, but the weight of what I just did. Like, I just was the reason that somebody lost their life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was just a constant, I don't want to say like stress, but like it was just, I don't know, man. It was heavy, and I didn't know how to cope with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had surgery a week after the accident, so I was bound to a wheelchair for about a month, and my arm was it couldn't move. I shattered my elbow, so I'm going through all of that, the pain, and taking the medication for that, and then thinking that court's coming. I'm trying to hire a lawyer.
It was like a whirlwind.
It was just it was a lot going on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a lot.
And how old were you at the time?
22.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the accident happened, I was 22, man. I turned 23 that January.
And that's like a baby, really, in the world. In the world.
Think back.
Think about 18, you graduate, 18, so you talking 3 years.
Yeah, facts.
4 years of actual, like, life in a sense,
Right,
you know?
Right. And I really wasn't living, for real. Like I said, like, before I went to the penitentiary, I didn't know who I was, or, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really feel like I was a grown man. I was an adult, you know what I'm saying? But my way of thinking was still childish, was still, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was just a lot, you know what I mean? It definitely was a lot.
Because I can just imagine, like, realizing, like, damn, bro. For one, like you said, you know, like, damn, that happened to somebody.
Right.
Then I'm going to jail. It's like, man, I couldn't imagine that, bro. Like, I was kind of in a similar situation, but I didn't necessarily do it. But I saw it, and I knew, like, I'm going to jail. Like, when bro did that shit at the party, and just seeing them people, like, and everybody called my phone blowing up. Why y'all do that? Why? Woo, the police here, everybody. I'm just like, every day, just knowing. Like, shooting? Yeah, but just knowing every day, like, they coming. They coming. It's like every day, just like you know it. Like every knock at the door, every car door you hear closed, do
you ever think about just leaving? Like,
nah, hell no.
You just eat. You just gonna eat it?
Yeah, I ain't think about that. But because I didn't do it, you know what I'm saying, for once. So but I know I know how it works. You going to jail. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, nah, I never thought about like hauling ass because bro left. And I was like, nah, I ain't going. Like, I'm gonna goddamn go to my mama's house. Right. I ain't going. But man, I just know like kind of that. But in your situation, I can imagine it was magnified. Just knowing like, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The weight of that is a lot, you know. And of course, with all due respects to the people that these things happen to, you know, I do want to say that we in no form condone it. Right. You know, I mentioned to you the other day, accountability has been extremely high from you, but we also know that accountability doesn't change. Yeah. You know, it's just like people say, I'm sorry. It's like, well, that don't
what does that
help.
Really do? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So again, we understand that. And I think the reason that we want to have these conversations and shoot the doc is awareness. Bro.
Awareness. Yeah.
Awareness from childhood through adulthood to not, because I think your story can touch a lot of people and change lives to say that this is where you can be. Because again, externally everything was great. Yeah. Right? We grew up, you know, same realms. Externally, we had everything we need. Yeah, fact. You know what I mean? We never go without the game, the shoes, the trips, the everything. We just talked about that. We had everything we needed, but internally, there may have been some other things that were going on that weren't really addressed, you know. And I think as a culture, we got to get out of that. Like we gotta start talking about things. We got to start just being real, being transparent. You know, about like really what's going on. You know, it ain't gonna hurt nobody to be honest and transparent about what's happening. Right. You know, so my biggest question to you, because you went through something that's truly unparalleled. I don't think anybody can relate. Small few people can really relate to everything you went through. Like, what did you learn through that whole experience? Just in general. Like, what's one thing you were just like, man, I like, this shit really stuck with me throughout this whole journey?
I would have to say the choices you make. You know what I'm saying? Like, life is really about choices. And that sounds simple when you say it. But, you know, if I would have made one slight change of decision and chose to, you know, just go home that night, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people wouldn't have been affected. You know what I'm saying? Like, the family of the victim wouldn't have been affected. My family wouldn't have been, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the biggest thing I can take away, you know, one of them anyway, because I took so much away from the situation, but just thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then, like in my videos that I make, I try to say that, like, you know, for anybody out there, no matter what you're doing in life, no matter what lifestyle you're living, just stop for a second and think. Because in this world we live in now, it's so hectic, man. Everything's so fast.
Yo, have you ever thought about what goes through our mind on these productions? Well, we're here to, you know, lift the curtain back just a little bit. Yeah, from our video production, photography sessions, and music, all the way down to making the beat, mixing the song, or hell, even just writing it, man. Yo, it's in-depth breakdown. And remember, I will never tell you to...
If it's not in depth, you're just scratching the surface.
Your first day in, like, what was that experience? How did that feel? How did just all the emotions that came with that first day?
First day in was unexpected because I turned myself in on a Friday thinking that I was gonna get a bond. So you know, when I go in for the bond, I'm expecting to come on back out. My grandma, she still got the car running. You know, we about to go back home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I go in there.
It's
and
gonna be a breeze.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Help me with this though. Is that not? Did your lawyer tell you that was like a good possibility? That was natural with that type of case?
Yeah, because coming in, like for real, when it comes to bonds, they really base it on like what your background is. Have you ever missed court? Have you ever eluded the police? You know, I ain't
What
had
about the
nothing.
nature? Like because it wasn't like a violent crime.
Right. Now
but
it wasn't like a voluntary manslaughter. It was involuntary.
Okay.
You know, vehicular. So that's an accident. I couldn't drive. I was walking with a cane. My arm was still messed up. I hadn't went to physical therapy for that. So, you know, he was like, "You're not a threat to public safety." You know what I'm saying? You're not driving. You're not even physically able to drive. But I guess that they considered me to still be a danger to the public.
That's what
At least that's what she said anyway.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
That's why I'm trying to figure out how did those two go together.
Yeah, I ain't really understand it. Like I said, I didn't agree with it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to get home. But when we went in there, she was like, you know, I'm sorry. I look at my lawyer and was like, so what that mean? You know what I'm saying? And he was like, hey man, you going to Piedmont? You know what I'm saying? He said I'm gonna call you Monday. And, you know, we're going to try to get you another bond. So I'm just like, man, this some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Super Bowl Sunday, like, I'm trying to be home with my family. I'm beat up for real. Like, you know, that was really what I was thinking for real because, you know, when you hear about jail, you hear about jail stories, and you see it on TV, you know, you like this gladiator school.
I never thought about that.
Yeah,
so
like this. I went in banged up. Like, I couldn't extend my arm at all. I was probably like $130. You know, I just had the surgery, so I had lost a lot of weight, won't eating. Like I said, I was walking with a cane. I just got out of my wheelchair. So the only stories I had heard about Piedmont was that gladiator school. So I'm like, I'm about to go up in this joint and, you know what I'm saying, like really have to fend for myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if somebody gonna push wreck at me or not. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I know it's a possibility.
You're right.
So going in, you know, I got all them thoughts going in my mind when I'm in the back of the police car on the way. And so I get there, they give me my stuff, man, and you know, they like, you go into the intake pod, and back then, they'll take you to a pod where everybody called it the dungeon. And I'm like, I'm wondering, like, why do they call this shit the dungeon? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when I went up in that joint,
Seen it.
Man, it's dark. I'm talking about
So
everybody.
no lights in it? I mean,
I don't know if the lights was broke. You know, I don't know if one of the dudes locked up and messed with it to have them dot, man. I don't really know for real.
Yeah.
But when I went in the joint, I set my stuff in the floor, and I'm like, you know, heart racing a mile a minute. Like, you know, I ain't scared. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going there scared, but nervous. I am like, you know, I'm hella nervous. You know, because it's really the fear of the unknown. I ain't going there fearing like these other dudes, but I'm going in there like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a switch in your brain.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like fight or flight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's kind of like that fight or flight. So then I heard somebody calling my name, man. They was like, Torrey. And I'm looking, it's dark, so I'm trying to see like who the hell calling my name. It's dark, bro.
It's dark in here, bro.
I'm talking about it's dark. You got some people sleep.
When they load these lights, how it be in here?
Man, it's dark in that joint.
I don't know why that joint. All of them not like that, but some of the pods be like that though.
Man, that joint was dark, bro.
I'm saying dark enough you can't see a nigga from the
middle of the day. Is dark.
Cause you got 8, 9 people, they sleep, cover over their head. You got some dudes cooking, some dudes on the phone. So it's a lot. Yeah, you know, dudes got commissary, so they sitting there making their little meals. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they doing. So it's like
you keep saying, you know, I'm trying to figure out.
Right, man. It was a whole lot going on, and my mind processing all of this because I didn't know. I'm just like you, going in. I'm like, damn, they got chips and stuff. You know what I'm saying? These dudes on the phone. Room? Probably about the size of this. Yeah, but then it was the upstairs part too. So it's dudes looking down. You know, I'm fresh into the pod. So dudes looking down like, who is this? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just looking all around, taking everything in. And like I said, I heard somebody calling my name. And I look, it's an older dude. So I walk up to him. Whole time, that was my homeboy Pops. That was my homeboy Malik Pops. And he like, man, what you doing in here, man? Whole time, I'm just glad to see somebody I know. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there took all of the, like, that nervousness. I was still a little nervous, but it's like that right there kind of let me know, like, all right, at least it's somebody here. Right. You know what I'm saying? That I can, you know what I mean? Like, relate to.
Think about the psychology of how much information your body is processing at the time that you. I'm shocked that, like, people don't pass out. People don't.
I'm sure some people probably have.
Some people probably do pass out,
that's too much for your nervous system to.
Right.
Like
I imagine somebody probably had passed out before.
just like I'm as soon as you walk in, and I guess I don't know if they walk with you and then say, all right, you're in here.
Right.
That door
Some
shut.
dudes check in as soon as they come in there. You know what I mean? Like once I got to a pod, I done seen guys come in, sit there the same way I did, had their stuff in their hand and look around and hear all the hooping and hollering. You got some dudes who be trying to pick on dudes like, new fish on the line, or hey man, where you from? Or
You done seen all that?
yeah,
throughout
like
your time?
and dudes don't be serious, but some dudes just clowns like that. They want to laugh and joke, so they sitting there hollering at people, and you know what I mean. And I done seen dudes turn around, start banging on the door. CO, nope, I ain't going in here, and they'll check in. You know what I'm saying?
So checking in mean like they're coming out, or they?
Yeah, they ain't gonna be in that pod.
They can
So
ask niggas. They can ask you to come. You can ask to get out.
you can't ask to get out,
You
but
probably go to-
either they gonna take you to the hole or they gonna take you to PC. You know what I'm saying? These are like, you know, more secure type. You know what I'm saying? Controlled. You know what I mean? Like lonely though. You know what I'm saying? It's in the way.
Give me.
But some dudes like, man, I ain't finna go in here with all these
rather
dudes,
be by
man.
himself than around these people.
Yeah, facts, bro. Like
Crazy.
dudes be scared going in that joint. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I won't finna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm basically like I'm gonna take what come with it. You know what
And
I'm
at
saying?
the time,
Like,
let's be clear. You back then weren't the man you are today.
nah, definitely.
So
not.
your mindset probably was a little like reckless in a sense too. Like
yeah, facts.
whatever, you know what I
Whatever
mean?
come with it,
It's
come
like
with it.
toy
You know
with
what
the
I'm saying?
braids.
Right.
Like,
yeah, facts. I was like, look, you know what I'm saying?
Whatever happened, I gotta
go with it because,
Yeah.
you know, I done created this image of myself on the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
That
right.
I gotta
So it's
uphold.
probably- so
you
it's
know what I'm
probably a
saying?
lot
So
of-
it's like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
I can't imagine how the body even responds to that. I still can't.
Right.
That's just too much.
Right.
It's not supposed to happen that way, first of all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like studies just came out about kids who watch YouTube and they flicking through stuff too quick about how your body and your brain's not supposed to be processing information. So I couldn't imagine being dropped in that setting.
Right.
Yeah.
But you said you saw somebody you knew and it kind of alleviated it. And then like, how did it go from there? Like, what was it? Were you like I'ma hang with this person, or I gotta, you know what I mean? Like, how did just like life?
I didn't want to like hang with him because at the same time, like I said, I want to feel like I'm standing on my own too in here. So I don't want to feel like I got to protect her because he could lead a pie any day. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And then
And
either
then
way,
you-
I'm in here by
and you
myself.
gotta- yeah.
So it's like still,
That's crazy,
I want to show
yeah.
people around me that, you know what I'm saying? I can stand on my own too. So, you know, I kind of did my own thing. I went and used the phone. A couple guys come up to you like, hey man, where you from? You know what I'm saying? What you in here for? Like back then, a lot of feds was in there and they'll do paperwork parties in there. So they'll be like, hey man.
is that?
So a paperwork party is they want to see on paper what you locked up for. You know what I'm saying? If you a snitch or if you done did something to some kids or something, you know, things gonna go left
they
for you.
kinda, yeah.
But if you just got regular charges, you know what I'm saying, then
Right.
you know, they'll kind of accept you as being in the pod, you know. But if you got a crazy charge, you ain't finna stay up in the pod. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it go. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, some guys came up to me, asked me what I was down for. You know, I tell them, and most people I told about my situation, like, dudes I understand, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a fucked up
Yeah.
situation. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, that's just an accident. You know what I mean? So dudes,
Right.
would, you know what I mean? So that was kind of, you know, that helped me get settled in too. You know
Is
what
it
I'm
as
saying?
irrational as what people say?
What do you mean?
And I'm guessing, you know, again, when you see prison on TV and stuff,
Yeah.
Right.
shit look. I'm like, there's no way people really living like this. But
Right.
like, are people as irrational? I'm sure there are a couple guys that want to be the badass, want to
Right.
be the tough guy, want to be that. But is it like you fighting for your life, or you're gotta be thinking like in that mode? I guess is it a difference from like, let's say, because Piedmont, and then you went somewhere else, right?
Yeah, I went to the Department of Corrections after Piedmont. You know,
Okay.
I went to the actual penitentiary system.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? The jail, penitentiary is two whole
Gotcha.
different ball games. Like the jail was rougher than prison was. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
And it all depends on what you into. For real. Like, it ain't hard to stay out the way in prison or
Gotcha.
in jail.
Gotcha.
But if you into that lifestyle, that's what come with it. So every day, you know, dudes was rumbling.
You seeing
Every
some-
day,
you seeing
dudes
some.
getting extorted. Every day, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you would see that on a day-to-day basis. But if you not into that, you ain't really got to worry
Gotcha.
about it affecting you.
So
Right.
there are possibilities of you to just do your time. I'm cool. I'm gonna do my time.
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna fuck with me, but I'm gonna do my time and
Right.
I'm getting
Yeah.
about. So there are that opportunity.
It definitely is, but
Gotcha.
it's all about how you move. See, prison was all about respect. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only thing I really stood on. It's like, you know, I'm here doing my time. I'm gonna respect the next person. but I'm gonna demand respect also. Not in like a bully way, like, oh, you gonna respect me, but I ain't gonna let nobody disrespect me. You feel me? Like the little hint, if I get a little hint of disrespect, I gotta check it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta check it on like, yeah, definitely, a couple times. But it won't, like I said, it really wasn't on no, square up or get all brawly. It's just like drawing that boundary line, like, hey, bro, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really into all that. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't really say that no more, or if you don't play with me like that. Some dudes like the horseplay. That's something else you don't really do in there. You know, so sometimes you just gotta check it, nip it in the bud.
I can imagine.
And you know what I'm saying? Like,
9 years,
it's crazy though.
Man.
Like I told y'all before, any day mentioned the jail,
man, because I just be like, I just can't imagine.
Branch just can't wrap his head. But 9 years is extreme.
Your freedom, right?
Extreme.
But then also too, having to go from a civilian to, like you said, it's like war. This like, you know, and it's war of the mind.
Right.
To not go batshit crazy, because I'm sure there's people in there who done just went nuts. Just being there is war of attrition. Can you stay healthy enough? Can you keep your body in physical good shape? It's war of your surroundings. Like, humans aren't supposed to.
I adapted pretty quick though, and it surprised me for real. Like, once I moved out of the intake pod in the L2, I stayed in L2 for about 16, 17 months fighting my case in there. I really wasn't fighting it because I pled guilty, but they had pushed the sentencing off so far. But I went for another bond hearing. I want to say I was in the jail like 2 months, and you know, I called my grandma. She like, you know, I'm a bring the title to my car. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get you out. So when we went, I was sitting in the holding cell in the courthouse, man, and my lawyer came back there, and I looked at my lawyer and I was like, hey man, I got something I need to tell you. And he was like, what's up? I said, I don't want no bond. He looked at me the same way you looking at me now. He was like, what? I said, I don't want no bond, man. He said, why not, man? I said, I'm in bid mode now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't getting no younger. You know? Like, I don't know how to accept it in my mind that I ain't coming home. So I don't want to be teased with coming home, seeing my family,
3-4 months,
eat good.
5
and
months.
now when I get sentenced, now I gotta go back for a long haul. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even want to do that to myself. And once I got in the L2, like, I got comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got around a couple guys I knew from around the way. You know, I got my commissary and stuff. I started learning how to do time. And once I learned how to do time, it was just like, all right.
Yeah. So you don't want to bond out then.
Yeah, and
4 or
then
5
have
months
to do
later,
that
gotta
again.
go back to jail.
Yeah, like I had already flipped that switch after like 60 days, bro. I flipped that switch and I was like, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had accepted it and I had found out like I can do this now.
You didn't know how long you had to do it.
I did not. I used to tell people that, like, if I'd have known they was going to sentence me to 12 and a half years, I probably would have came home on that bond just so I can get more time with my family. You know, I lost loved ones while I was locked up. I lost my grandfather, you know, so being able to come home and have more memories with them, you know, looking back, I probably would have, you know what I'm saying? But everything happened for a reason, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, definitely, bro.
That is, bro, it's quite a story. It's quite remarkable, to be honest with you. And it's like, again, I get so fascinated because I'm just like, what the hell? Because I don't think humans should be. And again, I'm sure our prison system is a lot better than Russia, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So tell me this: what you mentioned? You mentioned something off camera about the remote. You had the remote. What is that? Like you?
So back then in Piedmont, see now in Piedmont, I heard they got tablets and you can watch movies on the tablets and do video visits. Back then, we ain't had no tablets.
You gotta pay for all that stuff. They make you pay for everything.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you definitely gotta pay for all that. But back then, we ain't had nothing. We had one TV, a bubble TV, not no flat screen, a little bubble 1999 TV, and it had direct TV, and it had a remote to it, one for the whole pod. So usually, like, you know, when I went in, you know, the Bloods in the pod had the remote. You know what I'm saying? But like I said,
gang affiliated people.
Yeah. Like those individuals usually control the remote because they got numbers. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody. Now you got people that be like, "Hey, can we watch this?" But in prison, sports rule. So 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be some sports. Dudes will watch like Love and Hip Hop, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? and everybody go to the front of the pod and watch it. You know what I mean? But
And be chilling.
You know what I mean? Everybody copacetic. You know, it really won't too many fights over, we gonna watch this. You know, everybody pretty much, you know what I'm saying?
The game on, everybody chilling like we at the crib.
Chilling. Everybody eating. People that made their little meals, little nachos and stuff. Dudes chilling, drinking sodas. You know what I'm saying? Dudes doing them. You know what I'm saying? So after being in the pod for about 60 days, I get up early in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Get up early, and they usually watch music videos. So most of the guys who had the remote, they'll be asleep. So they started telling me like, "Hey, Playboy, you go ahead and get the remote since you be up early." You know what I'm saying? And you go ahead and. But in jail, if you got the remote, that's like a hierarchy type. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got some type of. So I don't know how I ended up with the remote. You know what I'm saying? I guess dudes just rock with me. But then when they moved and they went to prison or got out or whatever, I just ended up with the remote. And now when I see guys that I was locked up with, they tell me to this day, like, man, Playboy, I came in the pod and you had the remote. I said, man, you got some motion there, ain't it? Like, what you got going on? Like, we wouldn't expect you to have the remote. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I did. And like I said, that goes into, I got comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had established
just knew
who I was, you know what I'm saying, how to move, and that just came with it. You know what I'm saying? It was a crazy experience.
Remote like a gold bar.
Facts, bro. Facts.
The remote, boy.
You ain't lying, bro. For real, though.
People definitely want to watch nonsense.
Man, this is wild, bro. You got any questions? Because I got so much shit, bro. And again,
I'm sitting here listening to him talk.
It's crazy.
This is
bro.
my man, because it's like, you done been through so much stuff. You done seen so much stuff. I could easily ask you to give some wisdom to people about, like, keeping your freedom and maintaining your freedom. But, like, what's one thing behind bars that you saw that you can tell people that really brings that to perspective? Like, this is why you should keep your freedom. Because I've seen, you know what I mean? I done seen people, go through this or had that or, like, because I don't think kids these days really understand what that shit really means when it's like your freedom. Like, you can wake up on your own time, move, operate, you know, but what are some of those things?
So, you know, the small things about your freedom, they're good. You know, being able to move, being able to, you know, eat when you want to, being able to use the bathroom, take a shower, privacy, all that's cool. But the biggest thing I want people to take away from not taking incarceration so lightly, because it is glorified. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It does feel that way.
You hear these rappers and they talk about, you know, catching a body, going, coming home, and, you know, they glorify it, but the part of prison that people don't really talk about is when you lose people in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like
family,
I done seen guys lose their mothers behind the wall. And like the expression and the feelings and the like just all of that comes with losing your mother. I didn't lose my mother while I was in prison, but, you know, those guys will come and talk to me sometimes like, bro, I just lost my mom, bro. You know what I'm saying? I can't be there. I can't be there for my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lost my best friend while I was in there.
People don't think
I lost
about
my
that.
grandfather. And that's what you don't think about, because once again, you get this mindset of, oh, that'll never happen. But that was my biggest fear about going to prison. I remember one night I was sitting in my wheelchair. It's about December, so this is about 3 weeks after after the accident, and my grandma came into my room and I was just crying. I'm talking about probably the hardest I done almost cried in my life. I'm just sitting in my wheelchair and I'm crying, so I can't stop. And she trying to talk to me. She like, why are you crying? Like, what's going on? And I told her, I'm like, I don't want to lose you. And she was like, you're not going to lose me? I'm like, I'm about to go to prison. I didn't know I was going for 9 years, but I'm thinking, 5 to 7 years, I still, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't have been able to forgive myself. You know, like, my grandma is my heart. You feel me? And that's all I sat there and I thought about was, what if I go in here and I lose my grandmother while I'm in here? You feel me? So, like, that's what I want, I just want people to think about that. Like, think about your kids, think about your family, think about your loved ones, and if something happened to them, when you behind that wall, it ain't nothing you can do for them, man.
Right.
And that's crazy. And you say that, and for people who don't know at home, like, our nanas, our nanas are like, man.
That's all right.
Like, I'm talking like legendary nanas, and like they will go down in history for doing anything, sacrificing anything, being whatever. You know what I mean? So I couldn't imagine that feeling either. And like you said, we ain't getting no younger. which means they getting older.
Exactly.
Which is kind of nerve-wracking, you know what I mean? To even, I mean, till this day, it's nerve-wracking. And we are home, you know? I don't think people think that when they're out doing whatever they doing or kind of when things are, I guess when they're in the mix, you know, that's powerful. That's powerful. Who were some of your biggest supporters? Because I can imagine you went in, and I know you had a lot of friends out, but then like, what about in? What about people that supported you while you were there? Was there a significant drop off from like the friends that were here, the friends that supported you out here, and the ones that supported you in? Like, how did you navigate that? Because I can imagine you lost some, and you may have gained some in there too. Right. So what was that like?
Definitely was a drop off, man. And you hear that though. You know, like going into prison, they always say you find out who your real friends are. You know, so I had a lot of acquaintances when I was out. And going in, man, they started to fall off slowly but surely. I had a select few who did ride with me, you know, who did answer the phone. Because it ain't like they can call you. You know what I'm saying? Like they can send you a letter or send you some money or whatever the case may be. But, you know, it was always a hurtful feeling when I would call out and they wouldn't pick up. People, you know what I'm saying? Or they wouldn't accept the call. And you know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, I started to feel like I got bitter for a little bit. Like, dang, man, I used to do this for you. I used to pick you up. I used to get you in the club for free. You know, you ain't mind hitting me up on a Saturday saying, hey, bro, you going to Fevers tonight? I'm trying to ride with you so I can get in. You feel me? So it was like, you know, the same guys that was doing that, like now that I can't benefit them, you know what I'm saying? Like now, you know, but I did gain and I did finally get to see who was really in my corner. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I would rather know that now, you know what I'm saying, than have people around me who I know ain't really for me. Or, you know, whenever I hit rock bottom, they not going to be there. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
That's kind of crazy because, like, that's always the thing, too, is like, everybody love you when you're on top. Like, you know what I mean? When you riding, when you got the money, when you got the girls, when you got the, you know, you kind of got the juice, but really you can identify, you know, even family.
Facts.
Like even family, like when you hit rock bottom like that, it's like, damn, ain't nobody making meals no more. Ain't nobody, like you said, ain't nobody writing, ain't nobody calling. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
And for real, the family aspect probably hit a little bit harder than my friends because I did have certain family members that, I was locked up 9 years, I ain't hear from. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they know my grandma, so they could have easily seen her and be like, hey, at least tell Torrey I'm wondering how you doing. And I ain't, you know, from some family members, I ain't even get that. But I get it though. Because if you ain't ever been through it, you know, ain't nobody in my family ever been to prison before. Feel me? So how can I expect someone
what to say,
what to do? Because like my mom went to prison at when I was younger. And I'll never forget, she wrote me a letter. And I read her letter, man, and I bust out crying. And my grandma took the letter, you know, wrote my mom and was like, don't write to her no more because it's hurting them too much. And I never went and seen her. I never went and visited her. And it wasn't because I ain't love her. I never talked to her on the phone, not because I didn't love her. I wasn't strong enough to see her like that. So now, since I was incarcerated, I get it. Like, some people aren't strong enough to see you like that. It ain't that they don't love you, but they're not strong enough to be there for you in that moment. So I don't hold it against anybody.
That's a hell of a perspective to have.
That's right. So it's true, bro. Because every time but every time I went to court, bro. Nah, listen though, every time I went to court, bro, my mama was crying and shit. And I'm like, Mom, you gotta stop. You about to have me crying in front of these damn people. Like tighten up. You know what I'm saying? She just like, I can't believe it. I can't believe you in this situation. I'm like, man, but you gotta toughen up. You about to have me on this joint.
That's actually,
I'm sitting here trying to, you know what I'm saying?
I've never heard anybody explain it that way. That maybe the agents weren't strong enough to really support us the way we needed to be supported.
Not that they don't want to, but they don't really know how to.
One of my sisters told me they know the same thing.
Like, how I just can't.
What's the name?
Can't see you like that. I can't. You know what I mean? I love you. I'm pray for you. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait till you get out. But I'm not strong enough to do this with you.
And I tell you, that was my only. Well, my only, but one of the times I had a little bump in with the law. I ain't do no time. I won't never go in jail. Man, somebody better call my.
Somebody better call
my grandpa before I go to jail. Before I go anywhere, you better. I ain't going to. I'll never get the time they raided that house, man. Man, they raided that house that Low and them was at that one time.
Yeah, I remember.
Man, motherfuckers came in there with guns. They had the gun Kick the door in. I'm thinking this is unnecessary. First of all,
doing all this.
This is a lot.
Yeah,
Sitting in his house. You kick somebody else's door up the head. Well,
Yeah,
kick the
right.
door in. They had the gun pointed. I'm talking right to my head. Right?
Come on there.
Man, they told everybody to get on the floor. You know what I asked the man? Man, you know who I am, man? Hey, man. Hey, man, you know who I am.
Yeah.
Lied to you not. Act like you holding the gun up for me real quick. Man had the gun right here. No, up here. He had the gun. I was like, man, you know who I am.
Yeah.
Right? They said, nah, I don't know. Everybody get on the fucking floor.
Yeah.
Man, Robert Jones came and did like this to the man gun.
Ooh.
He said, oh, hey, man, Branch, come with me.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, look. I turn around, look back, low call, all the bitches on the ground. I said,
I'm out of here. I'm out of here, man. Hope y'all be all right, man. Hope y'all be all right. I'm going to call y'all. I'm going to call
I'm
y'all.
Papa too. I said that. I got that Papa
facts.
too.
I ain't even mad at you.
I lied like a motherfucker.
Listen, Robert called my grandpa. Lied to you now. He called my grandpa. He said, you know, Harley, where you at?
Yeah.
He said, I'm on the way home, coming through a million. I'm on the way home. He said, I'm about to drop Lil Ralph off at the house. Man, I rode in the front seat to the crib. I ain't. Hey, look, the only question he asked me, he was like, what you doing here? I was like, man, I was here. Seriously, I came there. We was hooping after school.
Yeah.
I had to walk there from practice.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't really had no, you know what I mean? They was on some bullshit.
Yeah.
But I ain't really had no clue. Right. But y'all know my saying, man, don't do no bullshit around me, bitch. I'm going home. Shit. I tell you straight up. Man,
crazy, bro.
But he asked me, he was like, what you doing? He's like, you got anything on you, anything? I'm like, I don't really, like, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck happening for real.
Yeah.
Man, it drove me straight to the crib, nigga. I called Hardest on the way there.
Robert Jones.
With the Hardest got me another boat, nigga, went home.
Robert Jones was on my ass. The P1.
Swear to God, bro. They pointed, man. They had everybody in a zip tie.
You know who I am?
I asked the man just like that with a gun in my head.
Yeah,
you know who I am.
word.
You probably won't have no job after this, dog. What's wrong with you, dog? No, sir.
Had to pull that car quick.
Must be fucking nice, man.
Yeah, ain't a man. You ain't lying.
You know who I am.
Lying, dog.
But I'm going to tell you,
Probably the only black
man
man ever said some shit like that to the police.
the one time I did end up having to go in front of the magistrate and stuff like that, though, you know what I mean? I'll never forget it. You know, that's, man, God rest his soul, but, you know, got into the stuff with old boy, you know, and they called me up there. They came to the house, told me drove down and stuff. They was coming to pick me up or whatever. And my grandpa was like, you ain't never got to go looking for nobody. All you got to do is call. Went down to Blackstone Police Department. They always tripping anyway. But went down there, man, and the way I saw my grandma crying, just with that whole experience, like, you know what I mean, getting fingerprinted, taking like, her whole, like, just was, you know, kind of chucked the same way you said with your mom.
Just seeing you like that.
Yeah.
Just
So I knew then and there, I was like, man, I can't ever
put her through that.
for no reason.
Facts.
Niggas out here got good lives.
Yeah, facts.
Got everything we need.
Facts.
Most of the things we want.
Yeah.
And we out here tripping. I said, bro, I can't see my mama like that, bro. Like, you know, and I call my grandma, she damn near like my mom.
Yeah.
Along with my mom, of course. You know, but I said it. I was like, I can't let nobody see me like that, bro. But she was crying. That back when they fingerprinted you too,
Yeah,
forcefully,
right.
Forcefully
Putting your
fingerprint
joint on
your
the
shit. I'm like,
pad.
you ain't gotta be that aggressive, bro. I can do it, bro.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But it was a time, and that's when I kind of the light flipped for me then, right? Because that was the summer of my senior year, so I was leaving after that. Like, I'm going to college after that, and that shit almost kind of fucked me up. You know what I mean? So that kind of hit the flip, like. I gotta just get out. I gotta get out of here. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And from there it was kind of just this trajectory is like it was kind of like that guardian angel. Like I got out of one situation, don't get into nothing else. You know what I mean? Like that was your your
sign.
Get out of jail free card. You know what I mean?
What's going on, listeners? Before we jump into the next section of the podcast, we want to take a second to thank our incredible sponsors, No Label. At No Label, they believe in more than just clothing. We believe in empowering individuals to embrace their mental health journey while fostering a sense of community that thrives on understanding and support. Not only do we create stylish clothing and comfortable streetwear for everybody from men, women to children, but we also support our community through a variety of mental health resources and mental health advocacy. We provide vital mental health support in the home, school, and community settings. Our mission is to eliminate stigma surrounding mental health to encourage open conversation. So when you choose No Label products, you're not only getting fantastic apparel, you're contributing to a movement that promotes mental health awareness and support. Together, we can make a difference. For more information, please visit our website at www.ihavenolabel.com to explore our empowering clothing line and discover more about the mental health support initiatives that we're doing in your communities today.
But yeah, man. So look, and you know I gotta ask you about this on the camera now. So in prison,
Yeah.
they say you're not supposed to get tattoos, right? This nigga went in. I don't know how many tattoos he had when he came out. Man, this is a rule.
Yeah.
So you tell me niggas didn't see your progression of all these tattoos. Explain some of these, because I've been looking at them, and I see you got the Blackstone water tower.
Yeah.
You got, is that Lady Justice with the crosses? You got a lion. Like a whole lot of, explain this
When
ink
that bitch
journey.
got inked up.
That's what I'm saying. So you tell me they walk by him every day.
I ain't really had no intentions on getting no tattoo. Cause even on the street, my homeboys used to be like, "Play, you need to get some tats, man." You know what I'm saying? Like, get some ink. And I used to be like, "Nah, I ain't really into it." You know what I mean? I ain't really into it. It's too permanent. That's too much commitment. You know what I'm saying? I don't do good with commitment. So, you know, that's too much commitment. So, like, the first couple years of my bid, the first, like, 3 years, I ain't getting no tats. And then COVID hit. And, you know, it was a lot of downtime then. You know, everything was shut down. They weren't letting us hardly do anything. We barely could go outside.
That was crazy.
You know, they had moved Tattoo Man into my pod that I knew because he was in the pod before. And every day he see me, he be like, "Playboy, when are you gonna let me do some work on you, man? You know what I'm saying? You're a blank canvas. When you gonna let me do?" I'm like, "Man, I ain't really into getting no tats." Then one day I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna get a half a sleeve and that's gonna be it." You know what I'm saying? Like, so he did this joint first. You know, I got the crosses on me. I got the prayer hands, my grandma's favorite Bible verse on the back. And I got that. And then I caught that.
That bug. It's always
that tattoo. So
always,
I started looking at myself in the mirror. And now stuff looking too blank now. You know what I'm saying? So then it went from, you know what, give me a whole sleeve. So then I got, you know, my family names on me and saying about family. It says family is like music, some high notes, some low notes, but always a beautiful song. I got that, you know, my mom, my dad name, my sister. So I got that. Once again, started looking in the mirror. You know, now things need to. So then I moved to this arm, and that's just how it happened, man. You know, and this arm I dedicated to, like, you know, where I'm from is the top half, and the bottom is kind of just like things that made me. So I got like loyalty, resilience, respect. I got out the jungle. Because I felt like I kind of jungle themed it for real, but at the time I felt like I was in the jungle. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a place, you know what I'm saying, that's real hectic for real. Right. So, you know, I got that. I got a joint on my collarbone saying hard times don't last.
See,
you know
ain't nobody complain about his shirt off, but I take my shirt off.
Come on, man.
Niggas, my inbox like, "Hey, man, what you doing? Where you clothes?"
You on the road to your nose, man.
The
road to your nose.
You on a GQ cover or
Hey, you got a cowboy hat on and shit.
Man, the cowboy hat did it, man. The cowboy hat was did it, man.
I was talking to D. He said, "Man, I'm starting the OnlyFans." He said, "Man, boy, Brett's starting the OnlyFans."
Go to the OnlyFans. Come on, man. All avenues.
I said, "Bro, this before I saw the pictures." I'm like, "What you talking about?" He's like, "You ain't seen this page?" I'm like, "Nah." Bro, I said, "Man, this man going crazy."
Jumped out there with that jump.
Jumped
out there with that one. Hey, man.
I gotta get in the gym with y'all because I'm looking like a full father right now. I'm trying to. All I gotta do is tighten up a little bit.
Because you do the workout content and stuff. When did you start working out in there?
So I started working out in the jail. So my cousin Dank and my homeboy Deshane Red, rest his soul, they was in the pod with me. And them boys would go in the corner. We had a pull-up bar. They'd be over there working out. So they used to come to me like, "Playboy, you can come over here and work out." Like I told y'all, I shattered my elbow and got surgery. So I couldn't do physical therapy. I never went to physical therapy. I think I went like 1 week.
Ever?
And then I went for 1 week. And then they came and locked me up, and the jail wouldn't take me to the physical therapy place. That ain't something that they do. It costs it's money. You know what I'm saying?
So they
ain't want transportation
you
and
never had physical therapy.
Never. So the only thing they allowed me to have, they cut me all the way down here, and then they put like plates, and I can't even tell you it was in my arm, but they put it back together though.
Yeah.
So
boy getting through TSA.
so the only thing they allowed me to have in the jail was like this contraption to where like I put this half in, and as I turn it, it straightened my arm out. Like, cause at first I couldn't move it no further than this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would just sit there some days bored, just turning it, going as far as I can't hurt, you know what I'm saying? But you just hold it for a while. So anyway, back to my homeboys.
Some medieval type shit.
So Dank and Red, they was like, man, you can come over here and work out. But I knew I couldn't because my arm. But they're like, man, come over here. So I started doing push-ups with them. When I first started working out, I couldn't do one push-up, man. You know what I mean? My cousin Dank used to take me by my shirt and like lift me up as I'm doing to spot me a little bit. Then he'll be like,
you told me you can't physically.
Yeah, my right arm,
full,
I can't extend. The surgeon told me that though. He said as soon as after surgery, he was like, you'll never be able to straighten your arm all the way out. He said, but depending on how hard you do your physical therapy, that'll determine how much motion you get. So that was kind of driving me a little bit. But my pride, the reason I didn't want to work out was because of my pride.
Right.
I didn't want to look weak in prison. You know, I really didn't like telling people that my joint was messed up because I didn't want nobody to think like, oh, I can take advantage of him. I can take his stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to go. You know what I'm saying? You ain't just going to take it. You know what I'm saying? Like easy. But so yeah, man, I started working out with them. Dank and Red, they used to have me just hanging on the pull-up bar, and they'll just sit there and hold me by my waist just while I'm holding myself up. And I just did that consistently, man. And I, before you know it, I was doing 2-3 push-ups by myself, or I was doing 2-3 pull-ups by myself. And that's really what got me into working out, because I started seeing progress. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I took that, and then when I went to prison in 2018, I went to Deep Meadows. It was State Farm now, but it used to be Deep Meadows. I went to the weight pile for the first time, and picked up these little 30-pound dumbbells, and man, them jumps were so heavy, man. I couldn't do nothing with them. But I met
still heavy to me.
Yeah. But I met a dude in there named Mike, man, from Hopewell, and he was like, "Hey, man, you want to work out with me?" So I'm like, "Yeah, bet." Because he used to be out there all the time, and he worked with me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like every day he worked with me, and eventually, like that's how I did my time. You know what I'm saying? I worked out. I ate. You know what I mean? I watched sports. Got on the phone. And that was my bid, you know what I'm saying, for the longest. Like, that's all I did. I had a little job, you know what I mean, do a little prison job or whatever. Might be sweeping the floors, mopping the floors or whatever. But that's just how I did my time, like, because then I started to see results, first of all. And then I started to see, like, what it was doing for my mental, because I had stopped getting high, I stopped drinking and all that. So now I'm feeling feelings that I ain't used to feeling no more. Because on the street, I get mad, I get pissed off. I'm going to smoke, or you know what I'm saying? I'm going to drink. I'm going to do something to cope with them feelings. But now I'm dealing with all these feelings, and I ain't got nothing to cope with it. And then I quickly found out that, working out was like a good coping skill for me. Yeah, the same jump. Yeah, it make you feel good afterward. Kind of give you like a natural high.
Yeah. And now it's trickled over into the content space. You know what I mean? So how has that journey been? Because like I said, you got locked up. We was on... Yeah, the iPhone 6. The iPhone 6.
Yeah,
they come home to the 16, 17.
Yeah, facts.
How is like social media kind of like? That's a lot of time. First of all, I know I keep saying it. I'm glad it's behind us.
Yeah, facts.
Right, and we can't keep tripping over none that's behind us. But nigga, 9 years is.
Yeah. A lot changed.
9 years.
That's like, because I remember we used to be in the basement playing 2K.
Yeah.
What? 2K10.
Yeah,
with Kobe
2K,
on the cover.
Yeah, 2K10. Yeah, facts.
Nigga, come on. You know what I mean? Facts. Like, that's a long fucking time. Like, how is that like the social media, your content? How's the world just kind of been for you? I was going to ask a more specific question, but like, was it that big of an adjustment? I mean, it seems like you kind of flow right back into where you were.
Right. So, as far as like social media, like the setup was kind of the same, like, because when I left, I had Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, but the content that's on it now is a lot different than what it was. They're doing a lot more on there. They're accepting a lot more content that I wasn't used to seeing when I left. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy stuff. I get on there and be like, what? And it's like now, back then on Facebook, if I got on my timeline, it only showed people stuff that I was friends with. Now, you go on there, they showing you, you know what I mean? Yeah, you seeing everything. People, I ain't even asking to see this person's status. Why is their status popping up? You know what I mean? So that was like different, but, it wasn't a huge adjustment. It was a little fast, like my first month home, but, I ain't really try to rush into it. I really didn't see myself creating content for real, but I found myself a little complacent or feeling like I wasn't doing enough because I want to get my story out there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, how can I get my story out there without having a car, without having a license, without working? You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, people sit at home every day and reach millions of people. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying I'm trying to reach millions. I would like to, but, I was like, what? I'm going to start. So I started off with a little workout video, and the jump kind of edited it for me. You know what I'm saying? So I did that for a couple weeks. Then one day I was like, let me see if I can edit this junk. You know what I'm saying? So I played around with it, and I ain't got it figured out completely, but you know what I mean? I'm getting there though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm learning.
And speaking of like that, coming home without really like, I don't want to say coming without your rights and without, but without certain things that normal people have, license,
Right.
able to get a job. How was that transition coming back? Because again, and what people probably don't know, like Torrey, you were the smartest one out of our group. I'm gonna just go ahead and be clear. When it was me, you,
Appreciate
Doogie,
it, bro. Word.
and we were, doing whatever we had to do, definitely was the smartest one. We were just, I mean, singing at all ages. I was like, C's get degrees,
word.
But like, what was that reintegration with like some of your privileges? Your natural privileges weren't there.
Right.
How did you have to kind of adjust to that?
I kind of felt like a burden a little bit when I came home.
Because you didn't have a license, right?
Yeah, I didn't have a license. So, like, ever since I was 16, I got my license as soon as I could. So, 16 and like 4 months, I had my license until I got incarcerated.
Right.
You feel me? So, coming home, I wasn't used to not having my license. So, I had to ask for a lot of rides. Hey, can you pick me up? Hey, can you take me home? Hey, you know what I'm saying? You got a couple dollars. I came home with some bread, but I ain't come home, you know what I'm saying, with no whole lot of bread. So, after I paid off some of my fines and, paid on a few things, got me a couple outfits, now it's like, I gotta have my hand out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I had a great support system when I came home.
Right,
like a couple of
right.
my homeboys, they blessed me when I came home. My grandparents, my mom and dad. So I was blessed enough to come home to a good support system. And that helped a lot. But still, I felt like a burden a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I know they don't want me to feel like that, but coming home and not having my license and stuff, it was definitely a big adjustment.
Can you imagine the people who don't have that support system after coming home though?
That's how a lot of niggas end up going back.
Yeah,
Right,
facts,
like,
man.
recidivism.
Facts.
Like,
And that's why.
Sure.
And that's why, because they ain't got no support. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? From, your probation ain't supporting, they ain't really for you. You know what I'm
Bro told
saying?
me a
Like,
story. His probation officer ain't have his name right on the paperwork. Like, that's how you know them niggas
yeah,
ain't
man.
care. They can't.
Probation, man, is all probation officers ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I met some probation officers while I was incarcerated, and they were great. You know what I'm saying? Like, how they said they treated their clients, but some aren't so great. And I see, I'm not excusing anybody for coming home from prison and going back, but I can see how, because,
how it's
if
easy
I
to-
didn't have that support system, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially like for guys down here in the country, like, if you in the city and you ain't got no license and stuff, like, you can catch a bus to work.
Right,
You can hit the
right.
city bus, catch an Uber. Like, down here, what?
Man,
you know what I'm
we-
saying? Like, I'm in the sticks. Ain't no
Yeah.
city
20
bus.
minutes to everything.
Yeah, you know what I'm
20
saying? So
minutes.
it's like, it's hard, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I definitely get it, man. I get it.
Man, I'm telling you, I can rattle shit off.
All right, no.
Cause I'm in my mind, I'm thinking like, what is one thing after going through what you went through 9 years? Like, what would you change about the whole system, the whole DOC system? Like, from the intake process to the time where you're in there to the time that you're leaving and trying to reintegrate. Is it something that is like, this shit could be a lot better?
It's a lot. It's a lot for the Department of Corrections that they could improve on. It's not all bad, so I'm not gonna bash the Department of Corrections, but there's certain areas like mental health. You know what I'm saying? I wish they would address that more. They have little counselors that, you can go and talk to, but it's not like, it ain't like counseling on the street.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like, they just diagnose you, and they have like 1 or 2 prescriptions that they can give you, and they kind of treat it like a heal-all for anybody with any type of mental health. And mental health, as you know, and being in the mental health field, like, it's a lot more complex. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really a case-by-case scenario, and they're either understaffed and don't have enough time or enough employees to focus on the guys and give them more attention. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And a lot of guys go in there, and instead of going to mental health or trying to get some help, they self-medicate. So now they're in prison still using, you know what I'm saying? Still using substances and still risking their freedom, because if you get caught with one of those substances, or you give them a dirty urine test, they're gonna take your good time away. They're gonna take your phone privileges, your visitation for a year. But whole time, they're self-medicating. You know what I'm saying? Like, not all of them, but some of them are self-medicating. You know what I mean? because they struggle with addiction and mental health.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean?
So, and also too, while you were in, tell me again about some of those, like the certifications and things you got, kind of like your what you did to help yourself to almost set success up when you got home.
Right.
About like being the peer recovery specialist and things like that. Like educate us on that whole process. like what made you want to do that versus just I'm getting my time and I'm getting the hell up out of here.
Right. So for my first 5 years I was incarcerated, that was the exact mindset I had. Like I said, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna sleep, I'm gonna use the phone, and I'm just gonna get this time out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like I really wasn't. I was trying to take trades, but they had this rule that you couldn't take a trade unless you were under, like, I want to say it was like a year or 16 months. Like they prioritized those guys who put in for them trades over guys who got 5, 6, 7 years because they about to go home. So they looking like we want to get these guys into this. So when they go home, they can have this trade. Right. But by the time my time got to 16 months, I'm not even on that compound no more. Different compounds offer different trades. So at Lunenburg, they offer plenty of trades, electrician, HVAC. I was trying to get the electrician trade, you know what I mean? Because I knew that was something that was going to be beneficial when I came home. But, it panned out. I ended up moving from that compound. So when I got to that time, I didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? But when I went to Indian Creek, I had like 2.5 years left. And at Indian Creek is a drug therapeutic prison. So when you go in, you as soon as you go into there, you are now in a therapeutic community. And you have to do 3 or 4 groups a day. You have to go to these certain activities. You have to. You don't sign up for it. Like you're drafted there by Indian Creek based on your charges for real. So when I went there, man, I used to sit in the back of the groups and I was looking like I don't need this drug program. I ain't got high since I was at the jail. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been sober for the last 5 years. So what I need this for? So I used to just sit in the back. And they used to have topics about like guilt, topics about like grieving and drug use and trauma. And I used to listen. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be combative, you know what I'm saying? But I would sit in the back groups and just listen. And one day, I forgot what the topic was, man. It was something like grief or something. And something in my inside kept saying like, hey man, tell your story. Because it related to what we was talking about. So it's like, it's about 70 of us. We all up in the day room. We got to bring our chairs up there, sit down, the counselors up there. They teaching the curriculum. So, I raised my hand, I stood up, and I was like, told them what I was locked up for, told them my experience, the grief that I had going through that situation. And after I told my story, after the group was over, like 4 or 5 guys came up to me, man, one at a time, and they was just like, man, I appreciate you telling your story, man. Like, that helped me. I ain't never been through what you've been through, but I loved hearing that. And then the turning point for me was the last guy that came up to me, he said, he used to call me Mr. Branch. He was like, Mr. Branch. I'm like, what's up? He said, man, I want to let you know my son was killed by a drunk driver. And when he said it, I ain't really know how he was going, you know what I'm saying? Like, was he going to come at me negatively and be like, I hate you people who kill people for drinking, you know what I'm saying? Right. I didn't know how he was going to, so I kind of was just like really interested to see where this was about to go. And he was like, man, if I knew that the person who killed my son was doing something like you were doing and telling their story, I would be able to forgive him a lot more. He said, because I haven't forgiven him, you know what I'm saying? He was like, but if I knew, if he was doing something like you was doing, then I would feel like my son's life had a purpose. And after he said that, man, it was like a fire was lit under me. And I was like, I just want to tell my story. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to help people just by telling my story. You know what I mean? Thanks. And then, so then they had this job that was called peer mentor. So peer mentor is basically just somebody in the pod who does what they're supposed to do. You help guys with like paperwork if they need it. If new intakes come in, you help them get set up, introduce them to the counselor. So I got that job, and I did that for like a year. I helped run groups, and then they told me about this profession in Virginia. They said this is a actual profession in the state of Virginia called a peer recovery specialist. And I'm like, so what is that? And they was like, well, in order to even get the certification, you have to either have history with drug addiction, have a parent that had drug addiction, been addicted to like a lifestyle. And I was like, well, damn, that describes me to a T. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, there's real jobs out there paying $20-something an hour. So I'm like, all right, how do I get it? So they started this program in the prison where they selected 2 guys out of the whole prison. There's about 1,200 guys there that they were going to allow to get their certification. So I put my application in for it. They did a whole interview process, and I was one of the guys that was picked. So, you know, it was a 72-hour course we had to take. I took the 72-hour course, took a test, I passed. Then after you get that just makes you a peer recovery specialist. But then you have to do 500 hours of peer recovery work and then take the state test. And that's how you get state certified. So I did that. They brought in 2 people from the Virginia Board of Counseling in to watch us take the test, me and the other guy. And I passed, man. And it was just like...
We knew you was going to pass the test. I mean, you can always pass the test.
But it was crazy because it was like, you know, everybody always say find your purpose or let your purpose find you. And I feel like my purpose really found me. Like through all the turmoil, through all the hurt that I caused, through that fatal situation, man, that I was in, it all kind of did like a whole turn. Like it was like it all made sense now because it didn't make sense to me for the longest. Like I questioned God for the longest. Like, why did you let this happen? Like, why couldn't I have just hit a tree that night? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did I have to get somebody else involved? You know what I'm saying? But it was like everything came full circle, man. And I really felt like this is what God wants me to do. You know what I'm saying? This is why all of this happened. Like it all made sense. So now coming home with that certification, I'm just putting it to use. You know, they have plenty of companies and recovery centers that hire them, but the hiccup I've been having with getting a job is the Department of Behavioral Health Services won't allow companies who they fund money to, recovery centers, to hire people that's on probation.
State money, so
you know what I'm saying? So it's like a catch-22 because the same thing that qualifies me for the certification disqualifies me for a job. So you know those barriers are set up, but you know I'm staying consistent. I'm staying, you know, I'm persevering through it, and I ain't letting all the no's that I'm getting right now. It's just gonna make that one yes when I do get it. You know what I'm saying? Worth it. So yeah, man.
Damn, bro. Hey, man, you got some shit, bro.
Yeah,
Let me be honest with you. You got some shit, bro. And all I'm hearing in a sense is like at the time of your life, and correct me if I'm wrong, but at the time of your life, you went to prison, right? With everything that was going on, that was kind of happening, you know, the identity stuff, the lifestyle, all of that stuff. You could almost say that prison saved your life.
It did, for sure, 100%.
Now, I ain't gonna say we needed 9 years.
Right. Yeah,
it
facts.
slowed you down enough to kind of give you an assignment.
Yeah.
Give you some alignment.
But it's crazy you say that, though, because that's really what kept me on the up and up when I went to the Department of Corrections. So when I left Piedmont, you know, I didn't really know what I was going to do for that amount of time when I was in the Department of Corrections. Right. But I had one goal, and I was like, you know what? I just want, when I come home, I want people to say, you know what? Prison was the best thing ever happened to that boy. You know what I'm saying? I really wanted people to say that. Now, how I was going to get them to say that, I didn't know. I didn't know I was going to get the peer recovery thing. I didn't know I was going to be working out. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Right. But I made it like a goal in my mind. Like, I'm going to do everything I can to put myself in position so people won't look at this and say, he did all that for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this tragic situation, you lost all that time. It was for nothing. Yeah. Like, I wanted it to be for something. And God lined it up perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like perfect, for real. He did.
Facts. That's kind of crazy. Bro, your life is a true testimony. That's why I can't wait to shoot this documentary. Boy.
Gonna be crazy.
Man, y'all gotta wait for the summer for this. We might put this joint on Amazon. This joint might go straight. This joint might go straight to streaming. You might have to come get this.
Word.
You know, so look, man. So we're not gonna hold you, man. And I'm because again, I'm grateful. I'm blessed. I'm proud. You know what I mean, to call you family. You know, that, and I'm proud of your progress, bro. Because like situations like this could have really I done seen it. Done took a lot of people out. Yeah. Like people don't get to talk about the bounce back as well as you are right now. Like not even close, for real.
Right.
Facts. Like most time the bounce back is you see people hanging out in front of McDonald's or something, or in front of like they just free they home. They don't have not a lot of goals, not a lot of vision. You still see them walking the street. Like most people don't get to like really experience the bounce back. You know what I mean? Right. And I know you know how blessed that is and how valuable this second chance is. But I want to get you out of here on this because I'm so serious. I'm gonna keep saying tune into the documentary. I'm just gonna tell people because that's gonna be like the tell all, bro. Where we really can dive into. It's just everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
get more personal. But 5 to 10 years from now, like, where do you see yourself? What is that what is that vision for yourself, that vision for your life, that vision for the time that you missed? Like, are you looking, family, marriage, like, because you think about the time period that you missed like that building state where you kind of just
20s, yeah.
You know what I mean? You just learn, you experience it, you fuck up, you kind of figure out which one of these girls I'm gonna live with for the rest of my life. Some kids, like, where you see yourself in like that 5 to 10 year range?
5 to 10 years from now, man.
You single?
Yeah, I'm single. Oh, yeah, single as a dollar bill, man.
You gotta look into the camera and say that.
Yeah.
I always
single,
had to make
man.
that.
Definitely single. Yeah, I'm single, man.
His brother single.
Yeah,
he ain't
man,
starving either.
I'm taking my time, man. Nah, I'm just really focused on, trying to love myself. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stay focused because I'm so locked in. I'm focused. Like I try to have a good balance though. I don't try to be too focused. So I can have family time and have self-care time. I like to have fun too.
Yeah.
But 5 to 10 years, man, I really plan to be in this field and to be in the trenches still, not in the trenches doing the same things I was doing, but helping people who are still in the trenches. Because, a lot of counselors say, when I came home, they was like, look, when you get home, change your people, places, things. You know what I'm saying? And to a certain aspect, I get that. But sometimes when you make it out the trenches, to help the people who's still in the trenches, you got to go back in them
Pulling
sometimes.
in the mud,
Not saying you got to go in there and do what people in the trenches are doing, but I want to still be reachable. You know what I'm saying? Like for anybody I got love for anybody I don't even know, I want them to see me and be like, damn, like he did it. You know what I'm saying? He knows a way of how to do it. You know what I'm saying? And kind of motivate them. So I'm hoping in 5 to 10 years, man, I want to open up my own recovery place around here because in the country, we don't really have that. We don't have a place, a building we can look and be like, you know what? I'm tired of living like this. I'm tired of getting high. I need some help. I can go there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I know what they're about. I've heard about them. You know what I'm saying? So I want to do that. Of course, I would love to have kids, man. You know what I mean? Like I'm real good with kids. I ain't rushing that though. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to let that be clear. I ain't rushing that, man. But I do hope that God blesses me to have a child and have a wife one day. But right now, man, I'm just really passionate on telling my story and inspiring, man, and giving hope. Like it ain't about me, and not only just the people in the streets is who I'm fighting for. Like I got a lot of homeboys who still behind the walls, that I didn't know on the streets. But you really do develop real brotherhood, real friends in there. Like there's some good guys behind them walls who need a second chance. You know what I'm saying? Who I know would do right with that second chance, but because of the policies or because of the laws, like they can't get out. They've been over sentenced. So, right now I'm working with the Department of Corrections and they're letting me go in and do speaking engagements inside the prison. They're letting me go to the academy and speak to probation officers. So as well as I'm fighting for people who are out and who are trying to change their lifestyle, I'm also fighting for those guys that I was locked up with. Because all because I'm out don't mean, I get to just forget about prison. You know what I'm saying? And that doing all of that helps me stay out though. You know what I'm saying? Like doing all that motivate, because now I feel like I got a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? I can't be out here tricking it up. I can't be out here taking penitentiary risks no more because I got a duty now. I ain't just living for me no more. See, before I got locked up, it was all about Torrey. It's all about Playboy. I was selfish. I want to do what I want to do. How is this going to benefit me? But the life that was taken during my accident, I can't let that person's life be gone for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like, or for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just living for me. I'm living for them. I'm living for my homeboys and my family members that I lost when I was incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just living for me. It ain't just about me no more. So everything I do, man, and I tell people, like, I would do this for free. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would do this recovery work. I would do it for free because I'm passionate about it. Now, do I want to make money off of it? Of course, if that comes, I would love that. But what makes it so easy doing this is I'm passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really care, man. That's the only reason I'm doing it, because I care about people. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to know you to care about you. I just know how it is to be in a tough situation or to make a mistake or, to have gone through some trauma as a child. Like, I get it. Everybody's story different. I ain't saying my story is harder than yours or I went through worse than you. It ain't about that. We all go through something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that's why I'm doing it, man.
Man, I'm going to tell y'all something, bro. This is, if y'all don't get nothing out of this one, there ain't no hope. Ain't no hope, man. Ain't no unsubscribe. Unsubscribe. Just leave.
Man.
If you don't get nothing out of this one, man. Damn. You know,
just leave.
Just this ain't the place for you. I know I got the little caption. I say, is this the place for you? If this ain't for you, then just leave. But man, I am. This feels like I should pull like remember when Tony Allen?
You might have to cut. Might have to cut you off. You would keep question Torrey all day.
Man, I would, man. But look, I'm again. I'm gonna say it. I'm proud of you, bro.
Appreciate it.
I love you to death, dog. It's been like that forever since we was taking field trips in church at 6, 7 years old.
Right.
You know, I'm actually like excited for like the man you are today and like what the future's gonna hold. And like we tell everybody, this won't be the last interview that we do because we're gonna come back, again after the summer end and hear about that job that you got and hear about the work that you're doing so that you can promote and advocate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, man, this has been it's been a blessing. It's been good. We had Chucky crying. Man, fuck Chucky crying.
Were you crying?
He was one blink away from
about to go down.
Something dropping.
Yeah.
Hey, man, but talking some real shit though.
But nah, I mean it is, man. It's powerful, man, and it's special. And I do want everybody, man, y'all follow his socials down in the description. We're gonna link everything. The documentary is coming this summer.
It's coming.
We got a 4-part documentary that's gonna be shot and promoted like it's the biggest thing on this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, I'm proud of you. I love you, man. Hey, and this is Man Listen.
Problem.
All this fake love is played out. I never got the love I gave out. I'm still stuck in this maze trying to find my way out. Take away my pain, better days I pray about. I'm so sick of all this fake love.